Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions. It's episode 112. We're going to check in on the riders, how they're progressing. I'll go through it pretty quickly before we continue on with our classic season. We're going to start at the bottom of the list, reverse alphabetical with Tillahun. He is currently our lowest current ability rider with only a 74 downhill, everything else in the 50s or 60s for now, but we're trying to give him a lot of race time to help him out as he is going to be a strong 5-star Northern Classics guy. The Barrador rating means he's going to have a good flat rating, and then time trial, which won't matter much, but he'll be okay as a sprinter. He'll be okay as a puncher, but that cobble rating is something we're very much looking forward to. Samuels is nearly maxed out. His cobble rating is actually the closest thing, and what is he training these days? Puncher. He's got a point left there, so we'll give him that to let him get that 76, 77 ish, and then focus on Northern Classics for whatever comes after that. But he's close to his maximum, which is really just a good rider, nothing more. Roteus here, time trialing. Definitely his strength nearly maxed out, but not quite, and we'll continue to. Actually, I've already switched him to cobble to classics. He's a 68 there, good enough to start helping us. Matoni, long ways to go yet. Pretty solid web too. He's going to be a solid GC kind of guy, but he needs to make it a little more well-rounded. The stamina's not there, the punchiness is not there, the resistance is not there, the recovery is not there. Mahira still got a little ways to go yet, but he's never going to amount to much. We're talking about a mountain rating and a hills rating is about all he has left. 3 to 4 points each means he's never going to be more than a support rider. But with an expiring contract this year, he should be a cheap re-sign, but he'll be one to reevaluate beforehand to see if it's worth to hang on to. But with not much coming up through the pool yet, we had that huge upgrade. Do we have some better options this year? Maybe. Musa, definitely more well-rounded, much better flat rating coming for him, a little bit better time trialing, a little bit better sprint. Already a 79 hills. Mansour, this was somebody who ended up being a bust. His contract expires this year. We will be leaving him behind. He had a much better web before. He's one of those ones who January 1st was given a reevaluation, and it's turned him into a total bust. So Mansour is definitely on the way out. Maccabee, recent signing this year, 5-star prospect, big time sprinter. He's already up to a 76 sprint, but there's nothing well-rounded about him. The stamina's not there. The flat's not there. The acceleration is not there, and he certainly doesn't have the climbing either. But eventually, if he does get that cobble rating and that sprint rating, along with some punchiness, he can be an incredibly useful piece for us, especially when you throw in the flat. Never going to be much of a climber, so certain profiles will be what's for him. But Maccabee is easily one of our... Well, he's the biggest prospect so far that we've seen here. Lottery. Pretty good, solid web option, especially with the cobble and hills rating. Without the sprint, won't really win much, but he could get a lot of podiums for us if he can reach his potential. Right now, we're seeing a lot of guys with potential, not too many guys that are close to it. Mohira and Samuels is about it, right? Well, don't count Mansour for anything. We're done talking about him. Now we have somebody who's just about maxed out, and that is Kareem. I need to reevaluate what he's training in because he is completely done when it comes to flat, cobbled hills, sprints. We have him working on time trialing right now, and with a 73, 76, I don't mind continuing to work on that. He's never going to amount to much of a climber, and he might only have about a point left in him. And, a 61 mountain. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make him more effective. Hills could, with a couple points. He's never going to be effective there. The time trialing at least can help us on team time trials, and as a domestique with our best flat rating and good stamina, that amounts to something. But you can see it here and now, that outside of that flat rating, he is so much weaker than the rest of the team, and he's got a much, much weaker web than pretty much the rest of the team. and he's essentially as good as he's ever gonna get. His time could come at an end. I know he's got fans. I know he has fans, and every time I've brought up that Kareem is only as good as he is, and has never had a victory for a reason. It is not because I use him as a domestique again and again. I have put him as one of the last guys many times, and not just an early lead out, but he always struggles to finish, and it's because one attribute alone helps us. It helps us as a lead out guy, but it's not enough to do anything else. There's not enough here. There's not enough. 59 acceleration and a 63 sprint is just never going to get a good result. Decent web, getting there. Still 3.5 stars, but showing promising signs. Problem for him though, it's all tending one direction with the medium mountain and then the acceleration, but that's not combined. That's not combined for a breakaway. But he's got capability. He's got somewhere, somehow, and I'm wondering if it's time to start working on that punchiness, because the medium mountain's there. Let's go ahead and switch him up to puncher now. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this tab. Well, no, because you gotta see what those ratings are. Shimway, solid, not done yet. We are training as a puncher now. Expensive. He was an expensive signing at 22K, but well worth it. Isaacs has some quality already as a climber. Definitely has some room in his web for growth. A later signing for us at 21 already. 4 stars. But at 3K, he's a good domestique in the mountains. Hanoke, similar for that. Almost a leader, not quite. Lots of room for punchiness, but we need those mountain points first and foremost. Habtum, a lot of ways yet to go on his web as well, and he's got an expiring this year and should be a cheap re-signing. Matt DeVilliers, weak sauce in any way, shape, or form. Develops very slow. He's been a 76, 75 as a sprinter for a year plus. His development is crazy slow. We've just changed trainers for him. Let's hope that it's gonna, help him. As I don't know the last time this guy has leveled up. Once in the last year. Yeah, we're talking a year and a half ago, and then 11 months ago. It's been a while. Josh, it's time to focus on his climbing, and we already have switched that focus. Strong climbing capability. He hit on hills early, and he gave us something there. Only the one victory, but he can, with some mountain points, get pretty strong because the stamina, the resistance, the recovery, the acceleration are all there, and a good hills rating that you give him a +5, and man oh man, but he needs some mountain points. Daniels, future sprinter. He's got the 75. He's got a 74 flat. He needs to complement that more. He's definitely got better potential than Matt DeVilliers does, but he's just not there yet, and he's progressing kind of slow too. But he is getting better. Clote, the latest 4.5 star guy, still in the same rate that he was there, but plenty of room to go on his web. Careless has a ways to go on his web, but he's never going to be huge. He's just going to be a strong, well-rounded domestique. Bosco, another sprinter, but can also do time trialing, and a little bit better web than we've seen in our other sprinters. But we just cannot seem to get somebody who's a bit more well-rounded as a sprinter. But we do have guys like Maccabee, who's the other one, like Lottering, that do have something that we haven't had in our sprinters before. Looking forward to seeing those guys develop, because you're seeing what our typical sprinter profile has been in the past. It's been pretty limited. It's been pretty one-dimensional. It's lacked flat ratings. It hasn't been well-rounded enough. They couldn't handle climbs. They couldn't handle cobbles. Like, it was all lose. But, you could be a 5th-tier sprinter in a sprint. But if we throw 3 5th-tier sprinters in a sprint, that makes us like 2nd-tier sprint outside of the top 10. the hopes and dreams are definitely in the new age guys that we've signed this last year. Benny Messias was another one who was a bust. He was a much, much higher profile and got reassessed not this year, but the year prior. And so Benny Messias, his contract finally expires. So that's two of those, both expiring this year. So at least that's good. And nobody else on the team. Benuna looking good and really starting to reach towards what that profile looks like and can be. And there's a lot of 70s in there. Very well rounded. A little still on the low end. You hit that a little bit on the higher end. You hit that web. That's a pretty good, well-rounded guy who can handle a breakaway and climb and sprint and be punchy and go get a win from a breakaway type scenario. Oh, right. The other bust. Also expiring this year, Bari. He was such a good prospect until we started this season. So that's three guys that are busts, but all expiring this year. So we definitely have some work to do. It's not that time yet, but once I do that scouting, we've got at least 3 spots to fill. But that bodes well for like a Mohira to get re-signed, even though he's not like the 3 busts that we have to replace, knowing that we're going to have a fairly weak pool of riders. These last few years, it's really dried up. We've seen what's out there. Finding something new really comes through the 18-year-olds, and we signed one of them. Like, was that Careless? Was Careless that guy? No, he's 23 now. It was somebody else, but we've already spotted some of those youngest guys coming in and getting them immediately. And then there's Sammy Arab, who, unlike Samuels, he's got a little bit of growth potential left. Not much. He's close, but a little bit. And he is so much stronger than Samuels at this point, which is why he has gone from no rating to, it's our team leader, who now has 9 career victories. And I think almost all of that's this year. He's got 7 officially this year. And at least one of those 2 other came right at the end of last year when this started. But now it's 79, 81, 74. Sammy Arab, clear leader for the team and nearly maxed out in just 23 years of age. And we've got multiple years left on his contract. He's making less than a Shimway and a much stronger rider than a Shimway. So that was a steal getting him signed. He's going to cost more next time, for sure. But with limitations, he's only going to get so good, and we may have enough money at some point. We'd handle it carefully to keep him long term. He's not going to be Girmay. None of our guys are. And why we haven't seen another Girmay come in with the Africa popularity and training structure, there shouldn't be many of them. But there should be more Sammy Arabs than we've seen. There should be more Samuel Maccabees than we've seen. The slow growth, the slow start, the many opportunities of we got the wins but didn't get the development. We're finally getting that development. So will we finally start seeing those guys in the pool? That's the big question going forward. Or have we really kind of peaked in what we're going to get? Are we always just going to be a continental team fighting to steal some points? Could be. Can we be the overall best team in a year? We've done it all the way to mid-April. We're still 800 points ahead. Arab now 1,300 for the year. Definitely leading the way. Ashimwe, Josh de Villiers, Bosco, Samuels all the way down in 5th. But that's mostly because Arab's been given that team leadership over Samuels. It's going to help keep Samuels fresh. And soon we have the Giro. And Samuels will be the leader for that one, going for the King of the Mountains role. That's the objective for the Giro. Stage wins. That's the objective for the Giro. That being said, one moment. Ashibwe, who just raced at Paris-Roubaix for us, about 48 hours later had a training accident and has a broken shin. With the broken shin bone, he is out. He was supposed to do Liège-Bastogne-Liège. He was supposed to do La Fleche Wallonne. I've already swapped those out. But he was also supposed to do Romandie and the Giro. And he will not be recovered until midway through the Giro. So he just missed the entire World Tour window of races over that stretch. 4 big races that he was going to attend all of. That sucks because Ashimwe was like the #1 support guy for Samuels in the upcoming Giro. because I'm focusing GC. We're going to try GC for the tour to see how we can do. I don't think it's going to go terribly well for us. With support, we could probably crack the top 10, but the Giro is the one we're going to get after and try to win stages and win secondary prizes. That got a lot harder, and we've got to replace him now. And who to replace him with? Well, I've already pointed out how I think he's limited, how he's flawed, but we're going to give him a shot as a breakaway kind of guy on the right kind of stage, flat rating. And so replacing will be Kareem. We need to get him on an objective. Part of the reason for doing this is that he's already got the build up for the Frankfurt Classic. It's going to make him hit a little bit early, but it's the midway point. It's that stage 9, 10, 11, 12, 8 territory that we're going to see if Kareem can be the guy to go do something and get a victory. I highly doubt that he can. He said he's never won once, but we'll give him a shot in at least one of those stages. I need to get him an objective for the Giro, but we also need to replace for Tour de Romandie. I think we can pick up Clote for that one. Final 75 kilometers of La Fleche Wallonne. It's a good race for us. The Mur de Huy is definitely a big climb, and we're going to hit it 3 times, and I tend to do pretty well here, but I'm not sure when the last time we actually came away with victory was. But with 70k to go, we're going to need to get that water fairly soon, but we'll wait until we're at the top. Setting ourselves up, preparing for it. Here we go. Mur de Huy, 2k climb, 8.2%, but in reality, you're looking at one very, very steep, punchy kilometer there, and we hit the top, and that sets us up. Now, I only brought one non-climber, and that's Maccabee. He is our replacement rider for the injured. Definitely a downgrade in terms of quality with a race that finishes through 3 circuits up that Mur de Huy and finishes at the top of it. Not sure why he didn't go get water when I had already clicked on it. Did I miss it? Maybe I did. Now it's awkward timing for that. Get back up there, and we're also going to need to start taking this a lot more seriously. Still these guys who keep their position a little bit better, start rolling that up towards the top here. You get separation there for just a moment, but it comes back together right away. We might have actually caused that. Maccabee is here, has not finished, but with this descent, as we approach the Mur de Huy, he'll finish and has. Okay, we've already gelled for him. See, this time it's only classified 1.5k. Same climb. 10.9%. But there you go. Up, up, up. It's tough. Super tough. I'm talking 20%. Huge gradients. But then it eases off into that finish line. Maccabee and others dropped. For now, 33 left in the peloton. That could be an almost perfect scenario for us. Check on what's ahead, though. Pichon Leknesund has gone away with Ulrich and Tullet, and then Plapp and Evenepoel, and then whatever's E1. There's definitely some favorites away, and then 32 in the group with 27k to go. This is not a time to sit and wait and see what happens. This is a time to take the guy who's in the worst shape, Clote, have him go forward, and then take the other guys that are in the weakest shape. Punchers, yes, but they just don't have the mountain rating to sustain, and that's why we're looking at a Benuna Samuels Arab finale. Definitely Benuna is the weaker with Arab. Arab's got a 78 on the punchiness, but it's that medium mountain that I really like. I think this might be a Samuels kind of day, though. He's a better sprinter, too. Yes, he is. So, Clote, a little bit far back. De Villiers a little bit farther up. Let's start with De Villiers and then have Clote take over in just a moment. Or just go with De Villiers, because Clote doesn't have the red bar either. See, we can't even get forward because we don't have the red bar in our 2 guys that are set to do the work. Okay, they pulled back a number of those breakaway riders. Now we're down to Evenepoel, and there's the 4, and that's the breakaway. That is the breakaway still away. So Evenepoel is actually the only leader that's still out there. just making it a little more of a, I don't mind so much that you got some guys without red bar that are leading the way that really don't have the pace that you need them to have. De Villiers is done, on to Clote, setting up Musa. Only 3 guys to lead out, so ideally you'd like those 3 guys for the final climb. But Benuna is definitely going to have to get to work sooner than that. However, we can go 99 and let Musa carry on a little bit longer. Okay, 22 left in contention. Perfectly positioned, 3 riders, small group. Give me a second to make sure that the whole rest of the group is all on auto. Leading out Arab, leading out Samuels. Is anybody weak enough to get dropped now? Sheffield's trying to attack, and we'll get a little separation. And yes, we do split the field. It's down to 14, 13, and Sheffield's caught. Now Benuna go full gas because he's going to crest and then descend, and all he has to do is set Arab and Samuels up. Gel for Arab. 7K to go overall. Last 13 riders in contention. Top 10 almost guaranteed now. Benuna is out of energy, but he'll keep pushing on. Gel for Samuels. Benuna gets that little bit of recovery with the descent. He'll round the corner. Watching his energy, watching his energy, watching his energy. It's hanging in there. It's hanging in there. On to Arab. 98 for now. Pushing hard because Arab and Samuels look pretty dang strong today. 1K to go. There goes Ben Tullett. 1K. Tullett's out of energy. Arab's out of red bar and sprinting. And now Samuels goes. Samuels goes. Can we get podium? Tullett had enough and hung on. Scalmosa's going to get second, but we are going to get third and theoretically 4th. There's only a couple of riders behind us. Almeida and then Leknasun hanging on, and Petrovic. It's a 3-4 finish. For a split second there, it was like, oh, can we do more? Can we do more? No. But it's a 3-4 finish. And look, 12th place, Dumont. 13th, Benuna. Yeah. Oh, look who's coming now, too. Musa's going to get a top 20. We're getting all sorts of points today. Great result on the points side of things. That's the big target right now this season, because our couple key nations that we have, the popularity boosts came last season, and they're boosted as high as we can really boost them, I believe. So now it's training points to get that to catch up so we can get the riders in the pool. So acquiring points, wins, of course, acquire the most, but consistent high finishes are going to amount to a good, strong place in the standings. Sammy Arab, 3rd. He's rocking it this season for Morocco. Morocco's got to be damn near guaranteed at this point, or at least at this rate, to pick up some training infrastructure. Now it's guys like Musa trying to get them points, trying to get after other guys, winning where we can. And that might be a goal of, say, next season, trying to go after secondary nations on purpose. We might start doing that. But it's got to be kind of a seasonal focus, not just one race. We're going to focus on this one guy for this one race unless he can get a popularity boost by winning. What we're doing is getting lots of top 10s, lots of top 5s, and seeing that pay off. We're inside 100K to go at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Wonderful race. Absolutely love this one. Lots of undulation along the way. But again, not necessarily a punchy finish. It's just along the way. Last race, very close. Really good result. And here we are again with another opportunity. And another positive race day condition here. Matonia's on a +2. Arab's on a +4, which is great for him. Obviously, he's already got the medium mountain. We know he's going to be fit at the end of the race. No matter how challenging it is. Not much of a sprinter though, but great stamina. Designated a domestique today, but he looks good. He's got a 77 mountain, 78 stamina to help us out along the way. But One of our key punchers, who you would count on today, has a -1. Not really hurting him in any way, but not giving him enough of a boost. So he gets a domestique roll. Henoke, somebody who would be good with the medium mountain. Again, -1, so same deal. So the other two guys besides Arab that we're going to end up riding for, Musa, 82 hills rating. Absolutely the ability to get separation in those final kilometers, has really good acceleration, has strong stamina today, and with a 66 sprint +5, I think this might be our guy today. Clote has a +5. Arab looks really good too though, so it's kind of two options, especially with Clote. Not a sprinter. He's got great stamina, he's got great hills, he's got really good medium mountain, and we are already seeing a couple guys go for it here 71k before the end, leading to an acceleration and a chase of the breakaway. The breakaway still had a pretty healthy gap, but it was much, much larger than it was. Gosh, what was it? 9 minutes out? That's already down to inside 4. The 4 guys that broke away, Martinez, Evenepoel, McNulty, Williams, all 4 big threats if they're allowed to continue racing on. 61k to go, and a big climb right here. This is going to be important timing to, well, for one, hold our position on this climb. So we're going to push a little harder with an 88 to keep everyone together. And then we're going to need somebody, probably somebody with a really good downhill like Henoke, to be our guy to go get the water. And it's really important timing. It's a 4k climb. You want to go near the top, but not quite. But that also depends a little bit on the field stretch and what could happen there. We don't want to get caught behind. Okay, that's close enough to the top. And then the gap opens, which is exactly what I was concerned about. A gap, and he's going to end up trying to ride across that gap and pull the field back together and be the one responsible for that. We've already completed the descent. So that was not textbook when it came to get in the water. It's already 42k to go. Like, this should have been done 20 kilometers ago. No red bar, but he does have the yellow. We are seeing another acceleration. Did we catch the other guys yet? Yes, they have been caught already. That's everybody right here, contained. 38k to go. Really just a couple climbs. I think we want to be making our push soon, but we've got to watch this group ahead. 8 riders, 38 seconds, 42 seconds. That's almost enough firepower to keep it going. We're going to have to make a move, but right now I want a little recovery. But we're going to gel up for Henoke because it's going to be time. We're going to have to make an early move on this. There's a decent amount of descending the rest of the way, a good 10k worth or so. I'm not going to make a move yet. The chase is well and truly on, so just make sure we hold position really well on this climb. Contact's made. There you go. See, that's why I didn't need to make a move, but they're going to turn around and attack again. And at the top of this climb, I think that's where I want to set it up and go. For now, it's going to hurt us a little bit less. Clote looking really good. Arab's looking good. There's Musa. But where's the support? Henoke is one of the highest placed guys, and he's the one who just ran out of energy. These guys just don't climb quite as well. We want to get back in position soon. 25k. It's still plenty of time for this. And there's a split. We'll think about it for a second and see if this group's going to regain contact. I don't want to be doing the chasing. I'm going to start with these 4. Henoke is going to just give me a quick acceleration. He's already at the front. De Villiers is domestique today. Mohira's looking definitely on the weaker side. Yeah, that's my 3 domestiques, right? And then Mutoni was my neutral guy. That's my 3 leaders. But they are just a couple bike lengths behind with Chago, Uchabrooks. They're going to regain contact. So if they're going to regain contact, we want to make use of these guys. And there is that contact regained. So Henoke starting to bring it forward. We will pick up the other 3 as we get up there. But Henoke is done. But that's okay. He got us up. De Villiers will not have red bar for long. But that little acceleration is definitely good for our positioning. Him ready, Motoni all looking like maybe it's going to come down to just those three guys. But I think, yeah, see, there you go. We are getting something out of this. Clote, the leader, but not a sprinter. So even though he's the strongest and has the +5, he's not going to be a capable sprinter. Musa is the best sprinter, then Arab, then Clote. So that all three of them look fine. Still 17k to go, and there's still 99 riders in contact. No one's out the back, but here comes that last climb where it's going to be decisive, and you can see a lot of riders' energy is low, so this can decide the race. Okay, it's a good start. Red bar's gone. Tony's still closing the gap to him. There we go. Now Mohira is actually done. You saw the pace lift. So on to Motoni. We want to keep the pressure on for this climb. We want to split this field up. Red bar's gone. Yeah, I've got three guys. 95 sounds great. Here goes your favorites. Pegacher, Uchabrooks. Let's reassess. How did those two still manage to get separation? I don't know. But let's put these back for all on auto. Field is about to split big time, especially on the secondary part and even that first part of the climb. Arab and Musa are in position, and there we go. We are negating those two. We've covered it off, and we now have just 23 riders left. Clote, 99. And I think we're looking at now the sprint scenario with about 20 riders. And many of them not sprinters. And us the only ones with any kind of lead out, but Musa. I want to ride for you, but if you don't have the red bar, I will swap the position so we can at least get an actual sprint. A lot of this is going to be downhill, so we're going to gel early. Down to 17 now in contention. Now, we might have some capability in the sprint, but a 66.77 is not good. Pegacher's a 69.78 base. His would be a +3 to the sprint for the base, so a 72 base. We're almost 10 points behind that. Almeida is got a 66, so a 69 base. Petrovic has a 72 to 73 base. Pidcock is strong. There's going to be a lot of guys here. It's just how much do they have left in the tank? Because unlike us, these guys are mostly riding solo. There's absolutely about 4 guys in there that are going to be strong favorites over us if they have any sprint capability left whatsoever. Clote will handle the downhill. We begin the downhill. He's got that last little bit of energy. And then on to Arab. Arab's got to go early because Clote just doesn't have anything left to push with. Clote's going to help give us a little separation, and we want a sprint coming out of here just after. There we go. Arab begins his sprint just outside 1 kilometer, and Musa to carry on. We're going to get the right-hander. We're at the front, but we're going to get overtaken right at the... They're both out of red bar, just a little too late. Do we get it squeezed off the podium entirely? We do. It's Pidcock, it's Pegacher, it's Petrovic. It's the guys we said that are the better, stronger sprinters. We were as well placed as we could possibly be. Uchabrooks also gets 5th, but Arab and Musa 4th and 6th, and Clote gets 13th. Fantastic result in terms of points. Oh, so close. If I had left it 15 meters, 30 meters longer to start the sprint, we might have had the red bar still at the end. However, we wouldn't have had the advanced position. I think either way you look at it, the stronger sprinters, they had enough in the tank to beat us, and beat us they did. They were just a little too strong. There was absolutely nothing that could be done differently in that scenario to set us up to do more. Musa, the slightly faster sprinter, still couldn't quite get around Arab because we were positioned really well and he was able to finish, but he just didn't. Either one of them didn't have that red bar to finish it off. So I don't think swapping them makes any difference either. Ultimately, though, another really strong performance from the team overall. We're going to go ahead and leave that one here. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.